Hey teamers, it is the tip of the week. It is a Thursday night. We're going to post this on a Tuesday night, but it is Thursday night, so we just got done fishing. Quite an eventful night. So this week what we're going to do is we're going to go over what we've been fishing the past couple weeks, the pattern, the baits we've been using, and why we've been fishing those areas. The place that we fish normally is Bone Creek, and it is a very pressured lake. A lot of people fish it. I mean, on a normal Thursday night, there would be anywhere between 20 and 35 boats. In the summertime, it gets as much as like 40 boats just for a 3-hour tournament on a Thursday night. And then there's tournaments there almost every weekend. So it gets fished a lot, and not just by amateur anglers. There's a lot of pretty decent anglers that are out there. There's actually a Elite Series Pro that comes out and fishes quite a bit too. So it's a heavily fished body of water. There's a lot of heavy structure, so we're just kind of going to break down what we've been doing here these past couple weeks during the spawn to catch these fish. All right, so this is Bone Creek. This is the lake that we fish. It's about 540 acres. The dam sets right here. The boat launch is about right in here, so this is what we would call the upper end of the lake. As you can tell, our screen looks a little different. It's because our lake isn't on a Navionics or a Lake Master mapping chip, so we're having to go in and AutoChart all this. So anytime we fish, we get new AutoChart data. So takeoff's about right in here. What we've been doing is we've been making a run over here to this big fork. You can see it here. I'll kind of zoom in a little bit to get back over here and show you kind of what we've been doing. We got a couple waypoints marked for some early season stuff. So we get back in this fork here. There's a big Y. Okay. If you go to the right, not a lot. I mean, it's not great for what we've been wanting to fish. What we've been wanting to fish here recently has been trees that have been in 3-4 foot of water, maybe shallower. We're fishing for bedded fish, but we're not necessarily sight fishing. We're kind of blind sight fishing. We know the fish should be there, so we're throwing to where they should be and hoping we get a bite. And we've had some pretty decent success with it here this past few weeks. So this is the main arm of the creek that we've been fishing here recently. We come in, we start in here. We kind of work this bank. There's some pretty tight contour lines in here. I mean, it drops off fairly quickly. So typically we can find what kind of depth range that these bass are setting in before we get all the way back in here. And then once we get back in here, you can see if we zoom in, this whole area that gets back up in here is 3, 6, 9 feet. There's a few holes where the creek channel's at, but majority of this inside here is very, very shallow. And last week when we were fishing, it was super muddy, so it wasn't quite as good as what we thought it was going to be, but we still caught some way back up in here. So what we've been doing is there's a bunch of standing timber all up inside here. So we've been trying to hit most of these trees here, especially since it is the spawn, in this 3 to 6 foot range. That's where we've been having most of our luck. So we've been fishing this part here. We've gotten back in this little arm here. This gets, shallow. I mean, less than a foot when you get way back up inside here. We caught a decent one out of there last week. And then what we do normally is we will buzz out of here, kind of fish our way out. It gets fairly deep though, so we try not to waste too much time. Then, as we're headed back down the lake, we stop. There's a little cove right here, and there's typically some fish that hang around. There's a big spawning flat right here. I'll zoom in for you. There's a big spawning flat right here. It doesn't get any deeper than about 6 foot. There's a line of trees that kind of runs right here where it starts to get deeper. So this is a big spawning flat. A lot of guys fish it. It's pretty heavily fished. But this little cove right here doesn't get fished a whole lot. A lot of people hit this flat, but then they forget to hit these trees over here where these bass may be hiding, trying to ambush something. So we'll stop there, and then we'll kind of tool on down back towards the boat ramp. And the boat ramp sits about right in here. Let me get zoomed in here in a second. We should have some data pop up. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so yeah, this is fairly deep right here, but the closer, you can only get so close because there's a bunch of trees right here, and you can see that this is up in 3 foot of water. Andy actually caught his keeper right here in a 3 foot of water here last week. So yeah, it's not quite a spawning flat, but the similar thing happens at Table Rock. They'll set up on some of these steeper ledges and they'll spawn on little flats on these rock ledges, and that's kind of the situation we had there last week. We tried the same thing this week, caught a few fish, and we actually kind of made our way around this point, kind of down inside this cove over here. Had some luck, caught some decent little fish, decent fish, some slot fish for Bone Creek. But other than that, that's kind of what we've been running, the pattern that we've been running. I had one break off right in here tonight. It was a pretty good one. Andy got a pretty good look at it. So that's the patterns we've been running. And like we said last week, we were fishing with brush hogs. We did the same thing this week. We did the Texas rig brush hog. I was throwing a 3/8 ounce weight. Andy was throwing a 1/4. And that's how we've been putting them all in the boat. We only got to fish for about an hour and 10 minutes tonight. We had some mechanical problems. But we still managed to put about 10 or 11 pounds in the boat in just an hour. And that wasn't leaving this little area. So, not a bad night overall. All right, A-Teamers, so that was your tip of the week. That's kind of how we've been using our fish finders as well. We've kind of been looking at contour lines, looking at flats, looking for those really spread out lines. So that's how we like to use it. We have side imaging, down imaging, but for right now, we've really been concentrating on the AutoChart, trying to get a lot of those, seeing where those flats are going to be at. Yeah, we know where a lot of the flats are at, but especially on Bone Creek, if you find something that's just a little bit different than another flat, it could hold better quality fish than that other spawning flat. So, like I said, that's your tip of the week. Next week, hopefully, we have no mechanical issues. We get some good video of some good fish catches, and we get a new video up for you guys. So, hey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below if you like the content. Check out the rest of our videos. We've got a couple turkey hunting videos. We got some fishing videos up there as well. And then don't forget to go check out our Instagram and Facebook page. Instagram is A-Team Squared Outdoors, all lowercase, spell out squared. Same thing on Facebook. So make sure you go check all that stuff out and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to comment if you think we're missing anything, or if you would like to hear something from us, or if you want us to do a video over something.